Hi guys, good morning. So I've been dithering back and forth in a few moments where I felt like I was feeling a little bit more light, which hasn't been often. Thinking, oh, I should do a video, you know, but frankly, you know, I've been feeling so absolutely fucking horrific that it's just been appalling. You know, where you can't concentrate on anything either, so you can't, there's nothing you can do, you can't distract yourself in any way from it, because, you know, reading a book, I haven't been able to read a book for ages, a long time now anyway, but to even watch, I don't know, an episode of something or a film or anything, you know, it's just, no, it's just been full on Black Hand Dark Generator onslaught, full on, like never before. It feels more aggressive, more violent. In other words, it feels more desperate, guys. That is what it feels like to me. And I know that the forces of evil, such as they are, I don't even really want to call them that, because it gives them power that they don't really have. Anything powerful wouldn't have to do this, to stay in control, because anything powerful wouldn't need control, wouldn't want control, because it's completely self-sufficient. It is completely whole within. You know, when like us soul travelers, ultimately we are whole within, but we've been gaslit and manipulated and mind controlled in such a way that we believe ourselves to be utterly worthless, less than worthless. You know, the whole Chiron thing, you're so worthless, you have to prove every day that you deserve to exist, and you're sinful, and you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. And all of that programming, and there is so much of that programming now, that, I mean, we've been targeted from the minute we arrived here, whenever that might have been. I mean, obviously it has nothing to do with time, because time is not another illusion, it's not a trap, but you know, it has been utterly relentless, and it has truly set us against ourselves. It's taken our mind and turned it against us. So that the enemy lies within, and that is where it has to be neutralized. That is the only way now, and to that end it has been excavated, brought up from the deepest parts of our being. I always say it's like a complex mining operation, and the deeper you go, the darker it just gets, guys. I mean, complete loss of interest in anything, complete loss of motivation. Don't want to do anything, don't want to go anywhere, don't want to see anyone. I wrote it all down because I need to have my little book now. I'm going to write things down, because otherwise, you know. You know, like no kind of positive feelings, like even sometimes in the darkest of the dark, you still have a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning. You might still be able to say, oh, later on today I'm going to be doing that, so that's a little point of light that I can help to get me through this. No, none of that at all. No enjoyment, no pleasure, no comfort, no peace, nothing. Just a dank, evil, malevolent onslaught day after day after day. ever since I did my last video, which was the 7th of March. And with that, hot heat, extreme heat, serious body pains everywhere, like pains in between my fingers, going up my arms, into my shoulders, at the back of my neck, my hips, my knees. Every part of my body is hurting. Spoke with another soul traveller, the Green Wizard, who says his bones feel like glass. He's been very unwell as well. So I know, and other people, as in other souls I know, are also under heavy assault, right? So I know full well this is energetic, electromagnetic. So all of that, headaches, terrible headaches, blurred vision, and impaired cognitive function. Can't remember simple things like, what's this again? I can't remember the word for that. Really, really fucking weird. You can't have a conversation with anybody because you can't remember words. And then we have the obstructionism, which has reached epic, malevolent fucking proportions. Right? So I have a Gmail account for my emails, right? Now, I get emails that I read them, you click, you get rid of them. There's no need for them to stay there, right? Now, every time I get rid of an email, it just comes back. I can get rid of it over and over and over again. They just show right back up in my mailbox. So I have all these emails I don't want. Also, there is emails from there. I never used to get spam in my Gmail account. Now, all of a sudden I do. The phone keeps ringing about 2-3 times a day with these people scamming and lying, obviously narcissists and demons, you know, from India, whatever, trying to get money out of me. So that I've had to unplug my phone, believe it or not. What else? I mean, this is just unbelievable. Oh yeah, weird Facebook. Right, so things showing up on my feed, that information or memes or whatever, that I absolutely do not resonate with at all. That's just putrid shit. And I clicked on the name and it was like, oh, this is a person you and me supposedly sent a friend request to. And it's like, no, I would never send a friend request to somebody like that. But there was about 3 of those, and it's like, that's bullshit. That is complete, nasty, nefarious bullshit. Things are dropping. It feels like a Mercury retrograde, but more malevolent. And it literally is like wading through sludge. But that is one of my favourite sounds, and I'm grateful for that, because it's, to me, that is always the sound of something good and something pure. It almost brings tears to my eyes, because honestly, guys, what I've been going through here doesn't allow itself to be put into words at all. It's just, it literally is just heavy artillery. Full stop, full on, 24/7. Even in bed, you wake up and it's always 33. Like last night it was 1:33, and boom, you're shit, you're worthless, you're disgusting, you're literally like boom, 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 like that. A friend of mine, another soul traveller, has had perpetual tinnitus, or tinnitus, I don't know how you call that, like ringing in the ear, getting more and more severe, so that he can't think, because it's like really high pitched sound continually. Wow. And all around me, the matrix, the realm is becoming more and more bizarre, like totally bizarre. I wish there was another word for it. It is beyond bizarre. It is putrid, disgusting, evil, horrific, malevolent, unacceptable filth is what it is. I have lost any kind of, I couldn't even call it desire, and you know, and I think actually something that comes to me like light, like an insight, like ta-da, clarity, and it says to me, it says, yes, you're getting to the point of letting it all go, because you do not belong here. No soul traveler does. And you have to get to a point where you relinquish all attachments to this realm. You have to relinquish it all. Because whilst you still have these little points of enjoyment, as in, oh, I really enjoy going out for a good meal, or oh, I really enjoy going out shopping, or oh, I really enjoy reading a good book, or I really enjoy this, or I really enjoy that. Life isn't so bad. Not that any soul traveler would really think that way at this juncture, but any kind of attachments to this putrid, imposed illusion has to be relinquished now, guys. It has to be surrendered, because this is a fucking abomination, is what it is, people, and we do not belong here. So to that end, something is happening here, and again, this is impossible for me to put into words, but I'm gonna try. What I was shown is like, I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with the Dementors in Harry Potter, or the spectres from His Dark Materials. Well, it looked a bit like that. It is a creature, a thing. It's not. It's a thing, a creature, a being of sorts that was born from the perpetual, trauma that this realm is, basically, that it engenders in a soul traveler. From the very get-go, we have been bombarded on a daily basis by the dark generator, but by our own families, by our neighborhoods, by our schools, by the so-called government, I hate that fucking word, the demons, by culture, by advertising, by all of it. Every nuance of this reality is basically encrypting our consciousness to the, you are a worthless piece of shit and you deserve to suffer and you're guilty and you're powerless and there is nothing you can do. And it does that to one end and one end only, and that is to make us hate ourselves. And it works very well. That virulent, putrid self-hate against yourself, it manifests in these like negative thoughts of like, oh, I'm never going to get anywhere and I'm no good and oh and ah and all of that. But most people aren't aware of that at all. But a soul traveler is acutely aware of it and is working through that now. But that is what that spectre is. It is a being born out of the onslaught. It is a part of us, but it is not a part of us, and it is that thing that has to be dissolved now. I keep seeing wheels everywhere, wheels, and the word karma, and I know what it means. Because the wheel is what this place is. It's a symbol for this place, right? The wheel of karma. which has everything to do with, oh, you got it wrong, so you have to come back here again to get it right. But inevitably, you never get it right because you're traumatized. You end up getting it wrong because you're severely traumatized. It isn't your fault. And then they're waiting for you, saying, oh, you better go back there and get it right. And oh, it's all about love. And Jesus is there. Look, and Mother Mary is there. And oh, isn't it wonderful? And oh, you're loved. It's a lie, and it has merit for a little while. You come back here, you have experiences, and you learn things. You do learn things, and yeah. But now for soul travelers, it's like, that's it. I'm done with that bullshit, right? So that keeps coming up now, and what comes up is, this is the end of karma. It's the end. The end. Enough. Oh. And so this wraith, like black wraith-like thing, like a black flying diaphanous sheet, is the embodiment, the personification of all that insidious demonic programming. And that has done such a massive number on us in so many ways. And that is what makes us sicken. That is what makes us grow old. That is what makes consciousness create this horrific, disgusting, putrid nightmare. And it is worse now than ever before. I mean, it is beyond anything. It is beyond bearable. We cannot be here anymore, people. We can't be here anymore. We don't belong here. Surrounded by these walls, by these fences. You know, these NPCs, they love putting up fences. Razor wire fences, wooden fences, metal grill fences. They love doing that. Everything is partitioned and everything is fenced off and everything is walled off. Everything is cheap and tacky. Everything is squalid. You know that song, Little House, Little Boxes on the Hillside. I love that song. You know. And do you know how I tell them apart now? The real souls from the empty vessels is they smell like fucking washing powder. NPCs, fake people, whatever they are, whatever these creatures are, they have an artificial smell. They smell of washing powder or cheap aftershave or really cheap air freshener, that sort of thing. And I get no energy from them at all, no life force, nothing. And it's just like these cookie cutter people everywhere. You know. The reality, the mundane reality reinforcement troops. Yeah. So, this is another thing I've noticed, guys. I'm sorry, it's again very rambly, but you know, what do you expect? You know, it's me, Ramblo. The whole, that terminology of the scum on the left. I hate all this shit. It's all bullshit. It's all fake fucking putrid shit. But anyway, it's like, oh, woke. That is a hijack of the awakening terminology. That is what it is. Because as usual, the Matrix sees what true consciousness is doing. And it's like, I can do that too. Look, I'm woke. I voted for Biden. I'm woke. Right? It's all such a disgusting lie. They're the very worst, those types. They're the very worst, man. You know. The cats have been totally out of sorts as well. So out of sorts, man. Literally, the other day when I was out, I could feel nature's despair. I could feel the suffering of the trees, and the soil and the animals, the birds, all of it, everything is groaning under the weight of this evil. I could feel it. And I can feel the frequency, the psychopath frequency, and I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that what pervades this evil shithole is the frequency of destruction as opposed to the frequency of creation, which is the golden world where we came from. That is the difference, people. You know? Oh boy, it's been so incredibly gut-wrenchingly horrific. I just have no words for it. And you might think, well, so it's the same then as it was a couple of weeks ago, because you said then as well that it was gut-wrenchingly awful. No, this time it's gut-wrenchingly awful times 10. Then it was gut-wrenchingly awful times 3. And, yeah. So this is the frequency, the psychopath frequency, this, the frequency of destruction. So everything withers. They like to put a label and say, oh, that's old age and that's natural. Right? The NPCs, the washing powder people, the cheap air freshener people think that it's natural and it's normal and that they are woke. You know, they're woke. So the Matrix is like trying very hard to mimic what true consciousness is doing, you know, and it's weird. It's really just bizarre. It's wow, because I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere. It's just like trying really hard to keep up and mimicking. It's envious and jealous. It's an external, a weird, nebulous external manifestation of an internal consciousness journey. And this spectre thing, this black diaphanous creature is what needs to be neutralized. Literally, it has to be neutralized. And now this is why this stuff is coming up. We feel the chains, we feel the shackles so much now. There is nothing left here for us, and I truly feel it has to be this way. We cannot have any more entanglements, connections in this world, with this world, for this world, because it is an abomination. You know, if there's anything left, there's any reason at all, oh well, I'm you know, still enjoying to, excuse me guys, I'm still enjoying this or that, or go here or whatever, you know, then you're not ready to let go. You're just not. You're not ready. And you won't be going anywhere. That's a fact. It is time to surrender all connections, all of it. We don't belong here. And our consciousness has been totally hijacked and turned against us, creating this shit. And so everything that takes part in that process, creating this evil abomination, has to be dissolved, has to be neutralized. That is what is happening now. That is what the wheel is all about. Karma, the wheel, this perpetual entrapment is coming to an end. I'm doing the best I can, sort of putting that into words, because it's much more. There's so much more to it than that, but I can't really put it into words, guys. And all I can do is my best with it. I hope it's, you know, it's of some help, some service, some comfort to you. Here's the thing. Our true self is the facilitator, the sentinel, and our true self is not here in this realm. Our true self is out of time, is out of the matrix, and was all along. And there is a strong connection here. It's very difficult to explain. Our true self is us. Only it's as if it has projected a part of itself into this experience. But we are connected to it via a type of umbilical cord, as it were. And so our true self knows everything. It knows everything. And it's holding on to us. And I know that sounds like our true self is some sort of external thing or power or being. And it really isn't, guys. It's the part of us that has all this knowing of what to do and where to go. It's whilst we're still languishing, as it were, in this nightmare and having to go and run the gauntlet, it guides us. It says that's going to work out just fine. It may not seem that way, but you'll see it will. Love yourself and know that you are deserving of well-being. Imagine what you would like to happen instead of focusing on what you fear must be. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. It's our true navigator. It holds on to us and it guides us. It's out of time. It's out of evil. Evil has absolutely no power whatsoever over our true self. It's why we always win. We do win. There is no need to be afraid ultimately, but unfortunately all that programming tells us you need to be afraid, you need to stay down on your knees, you're bad, you're worthless, you're shit, you're guilty, you're dirty, you're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. The spectre, the black hand, the dark generator, all of that whole putrid, false identity, wow, it has to be dissolved. So, out of time, you know. Oh yeah, feeling cold. I feel absolutely freezing cold all the time. I've been freezing cold and I've just not been able to get warm at all. It's just so strange. Oh, it's just unbearable being here. It's unbearable, guys, isn't it? All the tarmac, the asphalt roads everywhere. It's just a grid formation. These fucking assholes. The dead, the zombies, just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And this is another thing that we do, that we've been taught to do. It's trauma behavior. For example, the fact that what people call entertainment, sorry about that, what people call entertainment is actually trauma behavior, because everybody exists in a perpetual state of duress and abuse, like having to work for a living, growing old, which means the sickening is happening to you all day, every day, 24/7. You know, the ugliness, the squalor, the hopelessness, despair, the self-hate, all the, you know, so you exist in that. And it's like, oh, can I watch a film tonight? I look forward to that. Oh, can I go and do a bit of shopping? Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, go to the wine bar with Stacey, go to the cinema. All of that is trauma behavior. That is what it is. Oh, we're going on holiday. Yeah. All of that is designed so that you keep ignoring the obvious elephant in the living room. It's all trauma behavior. It's all fucking bullshit, you know. And somebody once said, oh, life is a series of problems that you have to solve. So basically what happens is there is a problem, and there's always a problem one way or another, every day, right? Always. There's always obstructionism, there's always manipulation, there's always gaslighting, there's always something nasty, nefarious and shitty going on. Oh, I've lost my job, what are we going to do now? Right? Oh, my cancer, autoimmune, oh. You know, it's all designed to keep us perpetually stuck to the wheel in a trauma state. But anyway, so it's like, oh, you could go like with Looms, for example. You know, he's actually doing really well. You'd be glad to know. But it's like, oh, I was really, really worried. And when you're going through what soul travelers are going through now, that type of thing really gets to you. It's like, you know, whereas maybe 10 years ago you would be upset, but now you feel it viscerally, right? Because you know this is evil, shouldn't be happening at all. So you have this program expecting the worst, which comes from you're so worthless and you deserve to suffer, so bad things need to happen to you because it has to be that way, because it's the only way you will find redemption. You have to suffer, and suffer is the will of God. So you expect the worst all the time. Then when the worst doesn't quite materialize and something works out better than expected, you get this click, dopamine click, you know, which makes you think, oh, I'm so grateful. And it's a kind of compliance, you see. It's another manipulation. Because, of course, you shouldn't even have to do that. None of this should really be happening at all. It's fucking evil and it's an abomination. Man, oh man, it's all gaslighting. It's all manipulation, you know. I'm sorry, guys, I'm repeating myself a lot today and I'm very rambly and whatnot, but I'm so tired. I've had the worst week in... Well... And I'm just like... Yeah. I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't belong here. I don't want to do this. I don't have any truck with it. It's fucking evil. It's disgusting. And it's an abomination. You know. That's what it is. And all these things are happening within me that... And all these... Yeah. And yesterday, whoa, wow, unbelievable, unbelievable. And there's a total blackout, there's no kind of news, there's nothing, it's just all COVID, 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 and just, yeah, a nervous wreck, a nervous, jabbering wreck. But at the same time, trust in the power of the light, which is our true self. It will get us through. This is entanglement on steroids. No, sorry, disentanglement on steroids. That's what it is, guys. I feel that weird feeling. It's like the parting, you know, the parting. When there's nothing left for you here and you reach a state of surrender, which means that instead of, because this is what they teach us to do, this is how it works, it's all trauma based, that life comes at you, the beast system comes at you, making its foul demands. Pay your bills, pay your taxes, go to work. You know, you've all heard of the good Protestant work ethic, how good a citizen you are when you work all hours, God sends, right? You know, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your mortgage, you have to go here, you have to. It's a cruel, sadistic piece of shit, right? And you learn to struggle. You learn to struggle. You're continually treading water to keep your head above water. You continually trying not to drown, knowing all along that you will drown. It's inevitable. Everybody does. Everybody succumbs. Death and taxes, you know, all that shit. It's a cruel thing. So it's an habitual thing to struggle. It's an habitual thing to be terrified. It's an habitual thing to struggle. It's an habitual thing to exist in that trauma state. And something is happening now, saying that is the spectre. Again, that is that whole spectre thing. It's like, that is how you have to be, they have to, letting it go. Something is relinquishing, made to relinquish its hold on us, so that we can let go, let go, let go, let go, and be in that zone, that part of ourselves where we love ourselves, where we see our true self, know what we are, know what this is, and know how to leave. That is happening, but it's happening very slowly, because the dark side fights. It fights, you see. It fights. The struggle, and to relinquish this entire thing, this entire psychology, this entire insanity, this entire trauma state. Oh, there's no way to put it into words, guys, but I dare say you know exactly what I'm talking about anyway, because you already know this in your own way, and you've already been going through this, and so you know what I'm talking about. And I may put it in slightly different words, but it is what it is, guys. We now know that we do not belong here, that we are not bad or guilty or sinful or evil or powerless or worthless, and that you have to prove every day that you deserve to exist is an evil lie. But we've been so distorted for so very, very long, guys, that the unraveling of that, I think, is going to take just a little while. But something here in the nucleus of it is happening that is poignant and meaningful, It's hard when you're in the onslaught telling you there is no meaning, you're never going to get out of here. I know. When mundane reality keeps reasserting itself. I mean, what is it with these fucking NPCs, or whatever you want to call them, that they feel the need to scowl at us? They need to give us a certain look, don't they? Of abject hatred, loathing, scowling at us, I mean, they stood there smelling like a fucking Chinese laundrette, scowling. I don't know. And even in that, there has to be a relinquishing, because you can carry on hating them and feeding the beast with your hatred, which comes from a place of victimhood. It really does, because they are not powerful. I had this dream over a year ago where I was walking in a park, and there were these two really nondescript type of NPCs, the ones that like to wear beige and khaki, and they're like in their 60s, and they've worked hard all their lives. And they were just stood there, and I walked up to them and I said, "Oh, hello, what are you doing here?" And they just looked at me with this vacant smile, like, "Oh, we're here for the culling." At which point I woke up, and I don't, but I'm beginning to feel this now, because there's all these NPCs having the vaccine, aren't they? I think that's a good thing. Oh, see, it's very hard to let it go. Even I find it very hard to let go, because what I felt yesterday was just such a virulent, intense, overwhelming hate. But there was a hatred toward myself as well. And the hatred for yourself is hatred for the external as well. It's all one thing. It's, How do you keep on going when you feel like you haven't got any hope left? I hate that word anyway, but when you feel that all is lost. well, you just don't kill yourself. That's how you keep going, isn't it? I mean, it's appalling. I know it's meaningful, but I also know that we've been doing this for so fucking long now that it's beginning to feel like this isn't going anywhere. I know that feeling. That is how it feels right now. Very heavy, like that's why I call it a black hand, because I keep seeing those traffic signs everywhere. It's great big black hands, and it feels that way. It feels like it's crushing us down brutally, cruelly, sadistically, like a predator that's just caught a tiny little animal and is squashing it and choking the life out of it, siphoning off our life force. Because let's not forget, guys, it needs our power. Why do you think I talk about spellboundness? It's because when we are not using our magic, it is using our magic to create this shit show, people. That has been the name of the game all along, you see. And that is what this is all about now. It doesn't want to let go, but it will end up letting go, because it's simply being neutralized bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And that is why it feels so aggressive now, because it's panicking. Our consciousness is made to, designed to create incredibleness, like wow, right? Not this. I think the great light reset is on the way, people. That is what I feel. So, do the sacred work. Speak to your true self. Make those vital connections, right? Don't give up on yourself. And when it gets really, really hard going, hunker down. Bear with it. You're not alone, you know that. It's all going to be well. We all, as soul travelers, intrinsically, we are, I won't say deserve, because that is all wrong, but we are intrinsically true freedom, true well-being, abundance, prosperity, infinite unconditional love and infinite creativity. That is the truth here.